Hello there, welcome to our new edition of Sunday Night Weather Hangout. This is the 17th of August. For those of you that have watched a number of these Sunday Night Weather Hangouts, welcome back. For those of you that are new, welcome to the program. Things are a little bit grainy this evening. You can see the screen. Kind of hard to see. Usually our picture is a lot more crisp, but our bandwidth apparently is being eaten up, so things are going to look a little more fuzzy this evening for our Sunday Night Weather Hangout, but no problems. I think everything will come across just fine, and again, we'll just have a little bit of fun geeking out on a Sunday night, trying to answer your questions, giving you a little insight to the forecast. We've kind of taken a few weeks off from these Sunday Night Weather Hangouts following what was the water crisis 2 weeks ago. Of course, we were very busy that weekend. Last weekend as well, we missed our Sunday Night Weather Hangout, but we're back. And we're not only going to answer questions. We're going to talk, of course, about the forecast and geek out a little bit of what's ahead for the next 7 days. And now we'll also be touching on the water crisis or the aftermath of that and what the water sampling looks like over Lake Erie. So a lot to talk about. We're going to get right into things. Again, if this is your first time watching, if you're watching on a YouTube link, it's really fun because you can look to the side, and I believe there should be many more links where you can click my profile name, and there'll be a whole lot more of these Sunday Night Weather Hangouts and other videos that you can watch. If you're watching from Google+, that's the coolest way to watch. You can actually ask questions live, and I can get them in real time and answer those questions. So if you're watching, feel free to ask a question. If you're watching after the fact, hopefully we do get to your question for you here. So we're going to do the old switcheroo now, and we're going to turn the screen around and show you what I'm looking at here in the Storm Track Weather Center, a screen capture of what's on my page for us here. And the very latest, using the Simu AWIPS software. If you've never used this, it's totally simple and easy. It's just simuawips.com. And what we've got pulled up on the screen right now is just a water vapor loop of what's going on across the entire United States. Very typical for August. There's a whole lot going on. There's no real concentrated systems, just some pop-up showers and thunderstorms, very slow moving across the southern United States. I guess the most defined system is this one moving across central Canada or southern Canada this evening. That's what's leading to some thunderstorms across Minnesota and down towards Nebraska. But in the local area, following those scattered showers early today, we've had some drier air working in, some downward motions in the atmosphere. And that's what's really limited any rainfall potential, at least for the most part, this afternoon. All right, basically all we're looking at is the moisture that's in the atmosphere. This is from satellites. Here's probably what you're more familiar with. This is just a radar loop from around the country. You'll notice this isn't quite as clean as some of your other radar maps. A big reason for that is because these radars aren't filtered out, and they show the ground clutter around each radar. So these radars can pick up bugs, farm fields, trains, cars. I mean, it can pick up all sorts of ground clutter, buildings, and stuff that are up in the air. And so usually a lot of that gets filtered out because it just doesn't mean a lot. But on here, it's showing up. But you can still see where the heavier areas of showers and thunderstorms are. And for the most part today, it was down south of the Ohio River, down all the way down towards the Atlanta and let's say Alabama, Mississippi region. Very typical down there this time of the year, those pop-up thunderstorms in the afternoon. And now that the sun's going down, of course, they start to fade away. So let's talk about where the temperatures are heading. And things do look warmer for the most part over the next 7 days. I got the 7-day forecast coming up here in just a second. But here's a map, and this is just like any other temperature map you've ever seen. Blues and greens are cooler, reds and purples are holy moly, it's hot type of settings. So let's just go through the day, and this is tomorrow. Looks like a nice warm August day. The real heat's going to be confined to the Central Plains where you'd expect it. But as we go Tuesday into Wednesday, it looks like things are going to get a little bit warmer following some showers on Tuesday. There you go, with some heat starting to build in. This is one of the few times this summer that we've actually seen the heat building into the Midwest, and we'll get some effects of that as we go later on in the week as well. Here's the 7-day forecast. It's nothing too extreme. In fact, we don't even have a 90-degree reading on the map for the next 7 days, although it's not out of the question later on in the week we could approach 90, but you'll notice my forecast just features mid-80s for the most part. Best chance for showers this week will be on Tuesday. And I'll highlight this. I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer to home and show you what the raw output from a weather model is. And again, we use a lot of these weather models, and they're not God-sent. They're not the Bible. It's not just look at the model and that's our forecast, and we just use computers. But these computer models do a great job of ingesting a lot of data and information, and then we interpret based on those computations what we think the forecast should do. A lot of what we do here in the Storm Track Weather Center goes back to pattern recognition. And what we're seeing for this week is there's a lot of days where there's chances for rain showers, but not necessarily many days where there's high chances for rain showers. So what we're looking at are a number of days where you'll see a lot of 30 and 40% chances for showers. Those are typically your afternoon type of rains. There's only one day, Tuesday, that looks like there's a real strong chance for rain showers for this week, and that looks like it'll be in the afternoon and evening as well for us. So just keep that in mind as we go over the next few days here with this weather model. This is the NAM, and I'm going to put it forward. It does a great job of highlighting the rain showers for today that moved overhead, and also showing the heavier rain south of the Ohio River. This is tomorrow afternoon. You notice, for the most part, northwest Ohio, southeast Michigan, we're dry. Can't rule out just a stray shower, but for the most part, looks pretty good for us. Heavier rain well off to the west here, but that system moves in for Tuesday, and so this is why we're talking about a higher chance for rain on Tuesday. This is Tuesday afternoon here. Pretty much all of northern Ohio looks like a good shot for some rain showers here, with some wraparound showers on Wednesday, and into Thursday. So this is one of those weeks where I think we'll get some heavy rainfall potentially out of that system, especially on Tuesday. Of course, it's hard to say, we're going to see 4 to 5 inches of rain like we did last week. That is definitely an anomaly, but there is the potential there's going to be a lot of moisture in the atmosphere for the week ahead. For some of those downpours, the showers will be moving very slowly, and that lends itself to the potential for 1 to 2 inches of rain being picked up rather quickly in any of the heavier showers or thunderstorms. So that's something that we'll be watching, but at least the ground has had a week to soak up that rain that fell last Monday. And again, I'm not expecting anything as extreme as what we saw last week, but keep in mind, very heavy downpours will be possible. All right, let's talk about the very latest 7-day forecast. Again, Tuesday into Wednesday, there's those chances for scattered showers. As far as where we're expecting the heaviest rainfall, it looks like Tuesday, and the warmest temperatures. I just got a question here from Crystal asking, and this is on Google+. Crystal asked, how hot is it going to be this week? Crystal, I hope that answered your question, showing the 7-day forecast right there for you. But it is something that we haven't seen a lot of this year, in the sense that we haven't seen a lot of above average readings, but it does look very likely over the next, let's say, 6 to 10 days or so that we will be looking at above average readings. In fact, here's the latest from the Climate Prediction Center, and it shows the eastern half of the country relatively warm, especially the deep south, but look at this back into the west. Much, much, much cooler than average, or likely to be cooler than average there. Across parts of the Intermountain West and the Northern Plains. That's 6 to 10 days out. How about 1 to 2 weeks out? And you'll notice we will be very likely returning to below average. So here's what I'm thinking, is we're very likely to see a pattern this week where temperatures will be above average. Somewhere for a couple days in a row, 85 to approaching 90 for highs. There will be a chance for scattered showers in there as well. Once we get past that, it looks like that cooler air starts to settle back in for us, and we will likely stay in a pattern for several weeks after that, or potentially even longer, where things will stay cool. So this might be our last real punch of warmer air this year. It's not to say all doom and gloom. It's not the last warm days of the year, but as far as a stretch where we could potentially flirt with 90, this might be one of our last chances for us, just the way the overall pattern is setting up for us. Let's see. Andrew asked a very good question. Andrew was asking, any severe weather expected this week? Andrew, there is the potential. Anytime that we have as much moisture in the atmosphere as what looks like we could see Tuesday especially, that we could see some strong downward winds just from the weight of the rain. But as far as any widespread severe weather and really organized severe weather, there's not enough shear in the atmosphere. The winds aren't fast enough, they're not turning enough, and they're not aligned in the right direction to really help organize these storms Most of these storms will develop very quickly, and then they'll kind of rain in on themselves and kill off their updrafts, and then a new storm will form. That'll go up quickly, and then it'll rain in on itself. So it's kind of a progressive thing that will go on, but it doesn't lend itself to widespread organized severe weather. So Andrew, hopefully that answers your question. Now, lately we've had to pull dual duties. Of course, we're keeping a close eye on the forecast. That's our main duty here, but we also have a duty to all of you to give you the very latest on the water situation out there. And my main job over all of this has just been to try to break down the numbers, give you guys the very latest on the scientific side of things, and I still want to do that. Here's a great website that we can show you. This is monitored by the Great Lakes Experimental Regional Laboratory, and this is up in Ann Arbor. And what they do is they go out and they collect water samples each week. And one of them just so happens they started this year, just by happenstance, to start collecting at the Toledo water plant. And I know you can't see this very easily, so I'm going to zoom in for you guys. And they actually test for microcystin directly in the water. And just to give you an idea, those of you that have been paying attention, 1 part per billion, not good. Anytime you get to like 6 to 20 parts per billion, you probably shouldn't be touching it with your skin. As early as July 21st, they were measuring 6, 7, 9. But this past week, things went down. We actually saw things drop down to around 2 parts per billion. So that's kind of interesting that about a week ago we saw things actually drop down, even though we just had the issue on Friday night with one of those spiking levels of microcystin, because the bloom can move very quickly. Water moves around. Of course, the currents out in Lake Erie are very fast moving. Keep in mind we had a very heavy rain event last Monday, and so that flushed a lot of those waterways, not only the Maumee River, but the Detroit River as well. And so there was a lot of water moving around. Add in the wind action, and these blooms can move around very quickly. So it's something that we'll continue to monitor, and hopefully we can keep some decent winds around to keep the water turning and keep some clouds overhead to limit just how much algae production really does develop out there for us. And keeping things cool would be nice, but the 7-day forecast perhaps doesn't look the nicest for that potential for us. So it's good to be back. Sunday Night Weather Hangout. We're going to keep this one rather abbreviated for tonight, just about 15 minutes or so for this weather hangout. Of course, as we get more active weather, we've done some severe weather hangouts, so any chance for severe weather or winter weather this upcoming winter, we will do special hangouts to give you guys the very latest information and let you ask your questions. For those of you that have taken some time on this beautiful Sunday evening to watch the weather hangout, I certainly appreciate it. And those of you that took time out of your day to watch this after the fact, appreciate that as well. For those of you watching live, I will see you over at Fox at 10 o'clock and over on WTOL at 11. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend and a good week ahead. Thanks.